Okay, so this is going to be our Minmus lander. And looking at her, I still don't have a huge amount of choices when it comes to crewed modules. Still, none of this is more than 2 crew. So I actually am gonna use the Lunar Excursion module, which is clearly modeled after the Lunar Excursion model. It's our module from the real life Apollo missions, of course. Let's take the parachutes out of here right away. This is going to go up without Kerbals in it. That's going to be the plan. We're going to dock it to the station, and then we'll send a separate ship. And the lander will stay there, and we'll just keep refueling it and keep going back down the Minmus and keep mining the heck out of the science at Minmus. This thing's kind of a neat thing because it has built-in thruster blocks already and monopropellant. It also has some liquid fuel and oxidizer already on it. The one thing I kind of don't like about it, this is the thing I noticed when I was playing around with this heading into this stream, is like if I want to take like a 1.25 meter part, let me find a 1.25 meter part, like a fuel can like this and stick it under there, it creates this little fairing thing, and there's no way around that, so you're pretty much forced into a 1.875 meter part. I'm going to go with, because this thing does not need a lot of fuel, is I do have a 1.875 meter, correct? There it is. Service bay. And I'm going to rotate that, not that way, not that way. Oh my gosh. That way, that way. There we go. And we'll put all of our science-y goodness stuff in there, and then that seems to work kind of all right. Now this thing it needs a docking port because it's going to have to dock, and let's get the coupling here. I want to put on, it's really built for the little junior one, but I do want to put on, because the station mostly has these big ones, I do want to put on this big one, but that kind of looks stupid. Now I could build some sort of a transition thing. That was kind of my original plan. If you look at the thumbnail, that's the way I slapped together something for the thumbnail. But I'm wondering, would it look... That can't look... Whoa. I'm not sure that looks stupid. I'm a little shocked, to be honest, that that doesn't look... I was thinking down here, too. That does look bad, but... That... I'm not sure that's exactly an ugly thing. And then it saves me having to build some sort of silly transition up at the top. And then I can dock sideways, which I like. There's no windows or anything that I'm covering. No, it's just a big flat surface. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that for this thing. Okay, so we got to think about this. This thing needs to have about 450 meters per second of delta V. So let's stick an engine on the bottom of it. Let's start with... I don't know what I'm doing. What happens if I just stick the pug? Remember, it already has liquid fuel and oxidizer in it. And just that is already 1,178 meters per second of delta V and a thrust-to-weight ratio of 0.97. Remember, this is on Minmus. Like, this is going to be adequate right now. Right there. By a lot. Without me having to add on extra fuel. That's awesome. Okay, let's add in some more stuff. I do want this thing to fly autonomously, so I'm going to put in a probe core. I think, does this have reaction wheels? I'm not convinced it does. It does not have reaction wheels. The mass is probably going to be pretty high on this. So let's actually make reaction wheels the first part. We'll go with the small ones. Then a probe body. Then a KOS control system. Put in our boot file. Up the disk space, because I always have to, because my programs are bigger than they need to be. And just for now, we'll stick in a couple of batteries. I'm sure it will need batteries. But honestly, I'm thinking this is a thing. This is a thing. Let's put on some landing legs. I think I can get away with, rather than the big ones like this, again, this is just going to be on Minmus, is just, I'm going to go with 3 of these micro landing struts, just like that. I don't want to go with 4. I like them when they're gold, but I don't want to go with 4 because I think if I go 4-way symmetry, I don't think there's a way to not have one over the door. But if I go 3-way symmetry, right, they're just on, it doesn't look quite so bad. They're just on either side of that door like that. So I think that's going to work. I got to think about science. I do want this thing to be able to collect science. It's going to do crew reports. So we'll activate the crew report. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, I want to put up one of these EVA experiment kits. And I think what I'll also put on is a repair kit in case we break something. I also want to do all of this surface stuff. So I want to put in some storage containers here. I'm thinking there's 2 storage containers. There are these ones that are meant to kind of go in flush next to something, and then there's these ones. These potentially can go. I think they're. I think I'm better off with actually these guys. I think I'm gonna put 2 of them. Let's go to the mirror symmetry. See what that looks like. If I put it in like. Come on, come on. Don't be like this. Let's get down there. You gonna let me get in there? Oh, you know what I want? Yeah, I think that's close to what I want. Let's slide them upwards. And they're the wrong way around. It really doesn't matter for any practical purposes, but they do have doors on them. So let's turn them so we can see the doors, and then we'll slide them out like that. Oh, where are the doors? Okay. My mistake. Where are the doors? I wasn't watching. There are doors on here. There are the doors. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is getting goofier and goofier. There. And then we'll slide them in. As long as they fit in there, fine. That could be for storing stuff. Not clipping out the bottom. I think that's okay. And each of these can hold 3. So let's look at this. Let's look at this deployable junk. So we got here the Communitron Ground HG48, but I believe, yeah, the Communitron Ground HG48 is adapted version of whatever, designed to boost the signal of any ground-based communication to interplanetary ranges. So I don't believe I need that. I want the goo duber, so we'll put that in there. I want the Grand Slam passive seismometer. Chuck that in there. These are solar panels. We'll work out how many we need in just a moment. A weather station is only if there's an atmosphere, of which Minmus has none. And then we'll put in ground control system. There we go. And then we need antennas to power all this. So this requires, it says down here, requires 1 unit of power. The seismic accelerometer requires 1 unit of power. The goo thingy needs 1 unit of power. So I need 3 units of power. The photovoltaic panels, if I have a level 1 engineer, which I do, they provide 2 units of power, so that, in my mind, means I need 2 of them. I think my logic is sound. I'm actually going to do a little bit of shuffling because I'm looking at the masses. That's 30 kilograms. That's 15 kilograms, 30 kilograms, plus this thing is 35, so that's 65 kilograms on that side. And this is 50 kilograms. And 40 kilograms, that's 90 kilograms on this side. No, whatever, it's close enough, I think. I have the 3 lightest things on one side. This is going to be off because of the docking port anyway. Still have 952 meters per second of delta V. Okay, let's think more science. More science. Here, we can open up our science archive from Kerbalism. There's not a lot of science I've done. Gravity. No. What do we want? What do we want? Crew reports I talked about. Gravity scan doesn't make any sense because it takes 90 days to collect, and there's no way I'm going to have a Kerbal on the surface for 90 days, so that's not going to work. Going down. Radiation scan, I do believe, will work. Radiation scan takes 8 minutes to collect. We can keep Kerbals around for 8 minutes. There we are. I have collected in 5 biomes. We'll just have to make sure to land in a different biome. So we'll grab ourselves the Geiger counter. Whoops. And stick you right there for now. Okay, and we'll start you up. Boop. Radiation scan, moving our way down. Again, the seismic scan, the seismic accelerometer, 14 days to collect, so that's again something for a probe. I'm not going to collect the goo or the materials bay. I have a contract to do a land and return, uncrewed land and return mission on Minmus. So what I'm going to do is collect the goo and materials bay through that, rather than have Kerbals do it. I have the question from PX Delta asking, what about the ants for redundancy? I think that is a brilliant idea. I want to have more than just one engine, because if that engine fails during descent, things go badly. So the ants, I think I will go there. So thank you for reminding me. That's where it was. They did surface samples. Yeah, we'll obviously do a surface sample. Telemetry reports. Yeah, we can do telemetry reports. They only take 30 seconds to do. So what we're going to do, we got to configure this. Oh, a telemetry report. It can do. It's already set up for that. And a temperature scan. Probably temperature scans we can do. Let's close all these. Right? Yeah, they take just 2 minutes to do. Again, we've done some in some biomes. We'll just make sure to land in a different one. And that's it. Yeah, the wing experience. Okay, so turn on the telemetry. Whoop, wrong one. Temperature. There we go. So that can be done inside the probe. This is looking kind of all right. Again, 950 meters per second. Let's start thinking of power generation. Oops, why did I do that? This is what I want. Okay, so... Oh, and antennas. I need an antenna. We'll just use, because we don't have any high demand science going here, we'll just use a regular Communitron 16. Ooh, I want to get it right. See, there's a circle on there. I want to get it right on that circle. Right there. That looks great. There's our antenna. Is that simulated in electricity? Yes, it is. So, according to this, we are consuming about 0.3 science per second. I think that can be dealt with just, especially given, I don't know. Now I'm thinking about it. It might not be stupid to throw on just a couple of these. How will these look like just tucked? Oh, they don't want to go in there. I want to get it right in the center of that texture, and it doesn't like it. So, fine, I'll just do it this way. I was going to stick on a bunch of those oxstats, but now I'm looking at it going, maybe I'll just do that. I mean, why not? It'll generate way more power than I need, but they weigh, what is that, 17.5 kilograms. Once I get into 4 oxstats, that's more than the weight. Oh, wait. 4 oxstats equal, there's 2 of them, 17.5, so that's 30, 35. These are 5 kilograms each, so that's 7 of them. No, putting on... I think I might keep it simple. I don't think I need all that. Nothing. So I want to put oxats so they're all in around here. That's going to be the plan. Now, unfortunately, this stupid thing, like, it's just it's physicless. There's no surface there. So what I'm going to do that. Put it on 6-way oh, I'm on the mirror symmetry. 6-way symmetry. Nope. Put the snap on like that, and then we'll. This is going to be a little bit lighter than all of those deployable ones. But I think it'll look okay. A little bit up. A little more rotation. Maybe a little bit more up. There we go. That looks okay. All right, all right, all right. And a ladder. I'm hoping I can get away with just a single ladder like that. That they can come out of there, get on there. Okay, let's put the ladder to a bit of a test. So this is going to be, what are we going to call this? This is going to be, yeah, let's call this just simply Minmus Lander. Let's keep it. I cannot type. Minmus Lander. There we go. And let's just test to see how this is sitting on the surface and all that stuff, and whether Kerbals can use the ladder. Do I have a Kerbal in there? I do. I can run the simulator, and the simulator does have a landed option. So if I can go to Minmus, I can put this on the surface, and I can see if the landing legs can hold up. All right. So I'm gonna simulate this on the surface. Oh my gosh. Okay, we got all wireframey here. Okay, so it's putting it down on the surface. Oh. Put on. Say okay. There we go. It's down. Okay, so it's sitting there. It seems to be all right. Wondering if I should up. Show springs. If I up the spring strength here. Wondering if I should. Well, whatever. All right, can I get here, Jebediah? Can you get out? Oh, it's hard to see. If we put on Jeb's lights, he just doesn't do much. Let go. Oh, I don't know if I like this. F? No, he's back on there. Let go. Okay, no, I don't like this. Let's terminate the simulation. I gotta come up with something better. I remember playing with this LEM capsule before and finding this hatch and getting out here kind of frustrating. I do have the little teeny weeny ladder parts. Of course you can't. I think that's attaching. Yep. I'm wondering if this might help. I'm worried that actually this might turn into the most frustrating part of this whole exercise, is just being able to get a Kerbal to get in and out of here. All right. Okay, you know what, while we're at it, why don't we spring strength, up the spring strength, the dampeners. Okay, save that. Let's just simulate this on the launch pad this time. Rather than going all the way to Minmus. It makes it a little cheaper. Oh my god, this is bad too. Okay. Seems to be alright. Let's see if we... Jeviaya. That's your new name. Jeviaya. Oh! Wow. That's... I might have a new way of doing this. I don't care as long as he can get up and get back down again. Why would he do that flip? Oh, he can board now. Boop. Okay, let's terminate this simulation one more time. Do I have the bigger ladder? I'm wondering if that might be a better plan. Oops, that's not the button I want. Ladders. I don't even have the bigger ladder. You know what? He got in and out. We'll call it. Also on Minmus, to be quite honest. Track that ladder. Track the landing gear. I mean, you can EVA if suddenly the ladder doesn't work. The ladder's cosmetic, not a big deal. All right. I was asked about hard drive space. How much hard drive space is on this? This has 16 megabytes of hard drive space. This has another 20 megabytes of hard drive space, so I have 36 megabytes of hard drive space. Does it talk about... Not sure we talk about transmission speeds and stuff. I got a feeling that... Nah, it's got to be good. I'm going to go with it. It's got to be good. Alright, let's retract that antenna. Still 935 meters per second of delta V in this thing. Let's put on those ant engines that were mentioned. I think that's a really good idea. These will be as backup engines in case, you know. And I think what I'll just do is stick like 3 of them. Just like that. Will that be enough thrust? Is the question. We'll turn off the thrust on the little pug engine. That gives me 0.19 thrust to weight ratio. But remember, that's on Kerbin. If we set this for Minmus, that thrust to weight ratio is now somewhere. Where is it? There it is. 3.76. So that's enough that, you know, if this it's enough that we could land, unless we were coming in really, really hot, but I think it'll be fine. I don't want to add too much weight to this thing is really what this is about. Okay, and then we'll put this back to compact. There, and we shall also put that on a separate. Typically, we probably won't even, you know, hopefully we'll never have to run these ant engines, but they're there if we need them. That's brought our delta V down to 873. Again, I'm budgeting 450, so it's close to be able to land on Minmus and come back to the station. So I think it's doing all right. Last thing is RCS. This is going to have to dock with the station. I do have installed the RCS Build Aid, and it already has thruster blocks built into it, but of course it's only these ones up here and center mass is down here. So this, if I use this right now, it's going to induce quite a torque on this thing. In fact, it'll induce a torque of 1.987 kilonewtons. So I want to put some thruster blocks down in this vicinity. Now these thruster blocks are they're 1 kilonewtons of thrust each, and that, for such a small vessel, that's a ton. All this thing's doing, it's not doing anything sophisticated with these things, it's just going to land with them. So I don't want to put on like really big thruster blocks and add on all that weight. I want to put on little ones like these doobers. Can I put on, what does it look like if I put on 4 of these? Another one. Oh, that's 3, 4. Let's see if I can get this to work. I mean, I know they're over the doors, but technically they're kind of on the little. I think that's going to work. Now, I still have a lot of torque because these thruster blocks are not nearly as powerful as these thruster blocks, but I believe I can turn down the thrust limiter. Let's turn down the thrust limiter here and reduce that torque. Oh, I saw 0.003 kilonewton meters. I think for just docking, I think that should be fine. So that's if we're translating right, if we're translating left, translating up, translating down, translating forward should be... Oh, yeah, of course it's not symmetric because this guy's... Okay, and we'll fix that in a second. Okay, but I think that's good enough. And lastly, I think I probably have a little bit of torque because of this docking port being out here like this. So what I can do to fix that bit of it is slide this engine just a little bit this way. Oh, that increases the torque. Why does that increase the torque? I guess there's enough other stuff piled in here that it doesn't matter. We got the ladder on the other side. Okay, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to put the engine right in the middle. I didn't make enough of a difference to worry about. I thought that this docking port on the side would really throw that off, but... Alright, let's quickly go down our checklist. I'm just going to do a quick look if the game is saying the same Delta V Kerbal Engineer is. I've been burned on that one, so I don't want to get burned on that again. Let's do a quick looky down the checklist to make sure I'm not missing anything. Fine print of the contracts just simply land on Minmus. I know that, so I'm not going to look. It has control. Should be redundancy with the control. Why don't we look at the... Oh, food and junk. I didn't even look at that, but one thing at a time. I'm getting to radiation, reliability, redundancy. It only has one form of life support. Boom. What do we got for life support? Configure the pod. Configure the pod. Configure the pod. Okay, it's got a scrubber, it needs that. It's got pressure control, it needs that. It sure as heck doesn't need a water recycler. But a monoprop fuel cell would be helpful. It does have monopropellant aboard. How many units of monopropellant do we have aboard? Somewhere it should say that. 30 units? Ah, it should be okay. I'm going to go with that. We're going to have to just live with the fact that it doesn't have the redundant... Okay, KOS probe core I put in. Cabin space configured I just did. Water, food, and oxygen. We have 5 days of food, 5 days of water, 5 days of oxygen, 3 years of nitrogen, but I've been burned on this so many times in the past. I am actually going to find a small pressurized tank. There it is. See if I can just sneak one of these in the back. I know there's a great big empty space in the back here. I'm going to put it right there. And we're going to put this onto... Oh, I hit the service bay. There it is. Nitrogen. So that's a ton of nitrogen, and you lose every time you EVA the Kerbals. You depressurize this entire capsule, and then it uses the nitrogen to pressurize it up again. And it's really easy to use it all up, so it doesn't hurt to have more nitrogen. 5 days should be fine for everything else. Again, it's going down to the surface, doing what it needs to do, getting back up. That's it. That's the whole shebang. So I think that should be good. I don't care about waste. Radiation protection, again, I don't care. Not that I don't care about them, but, you know, science I took care of. Power generation should be fine. Electrical storage? That's a good question. I don't think I looked at that. If we put this in the dark, it'll last for 2 hours. And that's with all the science experiments running. That should be fine. I think that should be fine. Should I stick a couple of batteries? I can stick a couple more batteries on here. If we put in like 2 of these... $2 and 16 minutes. Oh, okay, that doesn't make much of a difference. There must be a lot of electricity in this thing. Well, that has 560 electric charge there. Okay, that's... I'm not going to add on more. Antenna strength should be fine. Antenna speed should be fine. Data storage should be fine. Propulsion, it should be fine. RCS we've taken care of. Parachutes it doesn't need. Thermal protection doesn't need. Lights! Lights, lights, lights. Of course we got to have lights. I agree that a single source of support is fine for a Minmus lander. I mean, they're never going to be far from that station, right? That station's in orbit near the surface of Minmus. So, here, I'm just going to put a couple of lights here to... Oh, they're upside down. So, you know, if all of a sudden life support failed, you just get up. You go up, you go to the station. They'll be up. They can be back to the station pretty quickly. Let's see. Let's play with the rotating here. If I pitch this, yeah, that's the idea. Maybe rotate them a little outwards. I want to remove the symmetry and rotate this one the other way. Like that? I think so. Light on. Let's just kind of light this little zone up in here. Pitch it over more. Do the same with that one. Light up those containers. Pitched it over more. Okay. Light off. That's what I was doing. Turn that light off. We need landing lights. So I'm going to use the illuminators. Put these, 3 of them. So off of that mirror symmetry, 3-way symmetry. Actually, this way, yeah. That's too far. Okay, we'll tweak this a little bit. I can see they're a mess. Let's see. Like so. Always find if I watch one of the ones that doesn't have the widgety thing on it, and I can see it better. That the green one. I think that should be good. Maybe a little bit outwards a bit. A little bit closer to the edge. I need the rotate tool again. Am I getting too picky? I probably am getting too picky. There, stop. Okay, that should be good. And we will color these. Is there a gray option? There's a white option. No, the black option's better than that. Okay. And what we'll do with those illuminators, let's get right into the action groups while I'm thinking about it, is I don't want them on the light action group. I want them connected to the gear action group so that when you deploy that landing gear, those lights come on. Okay, we also need blinkety blinkety lights. So you gotta have blinkety blinkety lights.